Even before the launch of Star Wars Battlefront 2, Electronic Arts found itself under scrutiny for its handling of microtransactions and the loot crate system in the game. But now that it's available in stores, Battlefront 2 has continued to receive widespread attention and numerous reactionary updates from EA. To break down exactly what happened from the October beta to the current developments, here are the key elements explaining the controversy behind Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Star Wars Battlefront 2 is pay to win. That's more or less what it is. This isn't particularly new news. This came out when the Star Wars Battlefront beta launched, and people pretty much immediately saw that, holy shit, the loot boxes in this one are perhaps the worst we've seen so far.
At least as far as the AAA games go.
Any chump on day one is going to be able to spend a couple of dollars and have an immediate gameplay advantage over others in this multiplayer game.
How many different types of currency are there?
Sure. You have your credits.
Credits. And how do you earn credits?
Credits you get from matches, and
Okay.
you can also get from challenges. So even completing
Sure.
levels in the campaign, you're getting 500 credits and so forth. Credits are how you open crates.
Okay, so you spend credits to open crates, but not to buy crates.
Well,
Oh.
let's move on to the next, which
Okay.
is crystals. Crystals you can purchase. And we did this on a stream for the sake of just understanding what warrants $100. I would never buy a $100 crate. I would never do that. But we did, and it felt wrong.
This is bullshit. This shouldn't be in full price games. This is for free-to-play games. This is the mechanic that they've brought over from free-to-play games.
Last year, microtransactions in $60 games became so ubiquitous that a lot of games media just stopped covering them. They just got bored of it, apathetic, because it became banal. It's not news anymore. Sadly, I predict the same thing is going to happen to loot boxes, but at least right now, there's still a lot of attention being drawn on these things as publishers experiment and fuck around and dick about and see just how far they can push their customers.
Do you feel like you came to grips with it fast enough that that's just like a problem just at the beginning, or does it continue to sort of baffle?
It continues to baffle me. It continues to baffle me because I have a hard time understanding like where I stand as far as if I were not to purchase these crates, I really cannot tell you like what amount of time. I can tell you that it's a lot of time. I can tell you that it's a lot of time I would have to invest in order to get these naturally in game.
Gotcha.
Because of all these systems in play. So you're dealing with. There's just so much to talk about there. So let me give you some scenarios of what happened to us. So here's Darth Vader. Let me preview him because I am unable to access him because he costs currently 60,000 credits. Say you're opening crates and you get just any of these.
Yeah. That you can't use you can't access the character.
Because you cannot play him yet.
While most multiplayer games feature systems that task the player with investing time in a particular class or set of equipment, Battlefront 2 mixes elements of steep progression with randomized rewards from dedicated crates. These randomized yields include additional star cards, weapons, cosmetics, and other resources. The star cards in particular are vital for increasing the level of your character, and with the dependence on the game's randomized yield for players to acquire the bulk of their resources, this makes both grinding and chance a necessary aspect of the Battlefront 2 experience. Leading up to Battlefront 2's open beta, the increased focus on the game-changing star cards led to a lot of concerns from fans and scrutiny for the game, all of which were wrapped up within the increasingly common mechanic known as the loot box.
It was reported that Electronic Arts lost $3.1 billion in stock value, and aside from just that, early sales numbers began to come in, and we found out that in the first week in the United Kingdom, physical game sales of Star Wars Battlefront 2 declined 61% compared with the 2015 installment. One Wall Street analyst acknowledged the disappointing sales numbers, saying we were underwhelmed by the sell-through for Star Wars Battlefront 2 over the Black Friday weekend, which follows a controversial launch for the game.
When you start the game fresh, you have one card slot. When you get to rank 5 class specific, you get another card slot. When you get to 10, you get that third one. So on face value, by spending all that money and getting all these cards, I was immediately able to get that third card slot and immediately fill all of my classes.
So when you rank up, right, you said like at 5 you get your second card slot, at 10 you get your third.
Right.
And one of the ways that you rank up is by the quality of the cards
Correct.
that you own.
Correct.
So if you
Quality and amount, I believe.
Right. So if you, let's say, buy crates to get more cards and you get a lot of rare ones, that will then increase your rank and allow you to use them
Right.
versus playing to get to that point.
Playing to open crates.
Right.
And get more. Or to use crafting parts and get more cards.
Yeah, okay.
Progression in Star Wars Battlefront 2 is tied entirely to the glorified gambling. But by the way, I don't give a shit what the ESRB says. I don't care that the ESRB says that loot boxes aren't gambling. I don't give a fuck. I've said before that they're not gambling technically, but I'm absolutely gonna call them gambling because functionally that's what it is.
EA opened up the game to feedback with access to an early beta version of the multiplayer. In the beta, players found that the loot boxes, which yield randomized materials and star cards for classes and hero characters, were one of the main pillars of player advancement. A common complaint voiced by those that played the beta was that the progression system felt designed to encourage players to purchase crates with real money to advance more quickly. EA's beta for Battlefront 2 would ultimately be a turning point for the game in the public eye. On the Star Wars Battlefront 2 Reddit page, a user voiced frustration after taking advantage of one of the microtransaction options. Unbeknownst to the player, the crystals could not be used to purchase the various hero characters, which are only available to buy in the form of credits. This user wanted to purchase the Darth Vader hero, who at the time cost 60,000 credits. Within this same thread, an EA spokesperson responded to the post, stating the following: "The intent is to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes. As for cost, we selected initial values based upon data from the open beta and other adjustments made to milestone rewards before launch. Among other things, we're looking at average per player credit earn rates on a daily basis, and we'll be making constant adjustments to ensure that players have challenges that are compelling, rewarding, and of course attainable via gameplay." This comment was inundated with negative reactions from fans, soon becoming the most disliked comment in Reddit's history with over 675,000 downvotes.
Looking at some of the stocks of some of the biggest publishers like Take-Two, Electronic Arts, Activision, and Ubisoft, you can see the impact of microtransactions, which they are rolling in cash thanks to games as a service. Money is the only thing that talks to these publishers, and until this graph changes, microtransactions and monetization schemes are here to stay.